Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the GESC South American Qualifiers, taking a look at our second series of the day, second game of the second series of the second day of the qualifiers, and it's all too good in this one as we're getting ready to hop into the game. Main man Lyrical, as well as I'm joined by my main man Tsunami. How you doing, sir?
Good. It's may have to dip halfway through the game, but
no problem.
Mad Kings can whip out another 25-minute victory, then we're all good.
Yeah, we'll see if it ends up happening. Thank you again so much for joining me throughout these ones today. But the first series took a while to get going, and this one seems like it's going to be doing the same. But yeah, interesting stuff. Right before this, Mad Kings had trouble getting one of their players in, and then KZE from Lucchini stepped in, and he actually sat in a slot, and then at the last second they got in mid 4 or safe, try your best, which I'm pretty sure is Death Note from earlier. So they got all their players in. Whether or not there's going to be connectivity issues is another question. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Fair enough. Well, they're bringing back the Tiny. Wait, actually no, the Tiny was on the other team last time.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Juggernaut and OD on Mad King's team, yeah. Which was good. I was very, very skeptical about the sniper pick by Show.Rising when they went for it, and unsurprisingly it proved to be a massive liability the entire game long, so like I said, I'm pretty sure it was a draft loss for them in game 1. Maybe they'll wisen up this time.
Radiant I'm gonna take those little logos off now, but they should be on the right side for when we actually get into the game. Again, hopefully the ticket stuff will be addressed over the next couple of days, and then we don't have to go through my own little ghetto version of the logos for the teams. So Shadow Shaman again. This time for the other team, like you were saying, it's going to be a Rubik in response, Tiny. Actually, since it was first pick, Shadow Shaman, yeah, Rubik in response and a Tiny, and then the Bat Rider. As you mentioned, anything that sticks out to you in this draft and compared to last time?
If I remembered the last draft, then possibly.
Right. Well, that's the thing, is that it sort of, I'm seeing pick off top, and then team fight bottom, and that's kind of what it was last time, except it was the teams reversed.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it didn't seem like there was a concerted effort necessary for team fight on Mad King's playstyle. I think they were mainly just exploiting the vulnerabilities of the sniper for the most part. They were using Doom every now and again, but again, Doom never really seemed that critical. It just seemed like a hero that was irritating for the Show.Rising supports to deal with. Every single time they went for a rotation, then Doom would always survive with just a sliver of HP. So again, like I said, Doom is a great lane winner, but if you're picking him for his ultimate, then these days that's not really the most important thing about the hero. And right. Mad King's played it the way that I was hoping would be played in the previous series, where Doom wasn't really played as a lane winner. He was being played to Doom people, but he just wasn't being able to pull that off. So this time, Mad Kings have stronger roamers, I guess, in terms of being able to sit around in lane. Maybe a little bit weaker in terms of getting kills. Last time, the Shadow Shaman and the Bounty Hunter combination was really good at picking off kills whenever they went, whereas Ogre Magi is more like you just plop them down in the lane and constantly harass as opposed to go for kills.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that's nice about him is that if he does decide to plop mid, then you can head over to the Ancients on the minute mark and just stack them up for the Tiny later on down the lines. It's maybe a little bit scary because I find that I always get hit by the Prowlers, and then I'm just stuck there and get denied by neutrals, and I'm like, oh no, there was somebody chasing me. I promise, team, don't look at it. But there is a way to stack those as a melee hero, right? You can do it.
Yeah, it's just you need to get in the perfect range that you don't have to go for the attack, but you aggro them. So you just need to be in 200 AOE, and then they'll be like, hey, get that guy.
But if it's nighttime, that's where it's maybe a little bit tougher
yeah.
too. If
it's nighttime, then you better hope that you got a value point bloodlust or something.
Okay. Bounty Hunter's taken for T-Show. This is one of the heroes that obviously was very important in the last game. It stood out to me as being a way to punish the offlane hero, Darkseer just had a terrible time. And I want to kind of figure out, I mean, can he go to a Tiny's lane and try and mess with them? Or do you think he just stays safe? Like, is Bounty Hunter Bat Rider that great of a combination? Or where do you expect this bounty to be early?
I don't think he can really go for Tiny, especially because you've always got to be very concerned about toss. And so if you don't time your ganks properly, then you may end up going in for Tiny whenever his creep wave is next to the tower or something like that. And Abaddon is equally difficult to go on, so Mad Kings, I mean, they picked the Bounty Hunter last game, so I'm sure they definitely know where Bounty Hunter's shortcomings are, and Bounty Hunter struggles whenever he's not able to find kills, and Abaddon, Tiny, and Ogre are all very, very survivable heroes.
5 seconds.
This is gonna have to be like Courier sniping the minigame or something.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of kill potential here. I mean, I guess Rubik, but even then, he can lift and try and throw, and
right.
I don't know. It might even be worth it for Rubik to think about investing in like early boots or something. I wouldn't mind that. And then Ogre can just buy all the support items because he's an Ogre.
Yeah, well, in the previous game, we saw the Shadow Shaman and Bounty Hunter finding success most whenever they traveled together. And so I guess maybe T-Show saw that in the previous game, was like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. So they pick it up themselves, but like you said, Darkseer was very, very vulnerable in Game 1 because they bullied him before he hit level 2 and got that point in Surge. Whereas there are no real openings here on Mad Kings. Like, there are no level advantages or item advantages that you can find an opening on.
Yeah, it's true. Abaddon is the only reason that you picked this because he's survivable? Tinker. Oh, Tinker!
It's a cheap way to purge off track, I guess. It's not really like that important, but it's another small value, and it's a great counter against all the hard CC that Show.Rising have. Like, you'll be able to purge off Shackles. You can't purge off Hex anymore, so that's one thing that you won't be able to do, but most importantly, you're going to be able to purge off Lasso, and that's one of the primary reasons why Abaddon's a choice counter pick against Bat Rider.
It's tough. It's quite a good pick in this instance, and the Tinker, I've occasionally seen Tinkers be able to like blow up an Abba before his ulti can even proc if you get like Dagon up high enough level, but that would be much later on in the game. As far as the laning stage goes, it feels like he might be a little bit vulnerable to Ogre just running up and punching him.
Yeah.
Is there any matchup that you really don't want to see right now if you're Tinker? Can Tiny lane against him?
If they want to send Tiny mid, that's viability, but chances are they saved the mid lane matchup for their 5th pick last time with the OD. I imagine that Mad Kings are going for it again, saving their Death Note hero for the 10th pick, which, seeing as how they already know that Tinker is going to be the matchup, I'm sure that Mad Kings are probably going to pick something that's a little more suitable than Tiny. Because Tiny is, sure, the whole zero armor thing isn't really that much of a downside against a Tinker, because most of Tinker's damage is going to be through magic, but Tiny's he's going to have to struggle to get farm if he's sent in the mid lane, so if you send him in the safe lane, he doesn't really have to worry too much about Bat Rider, especially if you have Rubik to make sure that you can drag the Bat Rider back, and if they find like a really greedy mid, like they could go for a sniper of their own on Mad Kings, then Ogre is going to be able to protect that mid lane match very well, because like you said, Tinker's going to kind of struggle to deal damage against that Ogre.
Last pick Gyrocopter now. Can be strong, sometimes is vulnerable to getting bursted, and they already have some burst with the Tiny. I mean, even Rubik gives you a little bit with Fade Bolt. No Field is super valuable this game. So much magical damage.
Yeah,
last
sure.
pick gonna be the Storm Spirit. An answer to
yeah,
Tinker.
so something greedy. Like Sniper came to my mind because, for one thing, Storm Spirit's not a very popular hero these days, but as we saw in the previous series and this series, South America seems to favor comfort picks more than just like pure meta picks, and Storm Spirit's not like bad by any means, but if you have an Ogre to back you up, then whatever lane issues that Storm typically has are mitigated very easily.
And he's a super hard counter to Tinker late game if you can get through that laning stage, which is the main issue.
Exactly.
So yeah, great pick there. Death Note was an all-star last game on that OD, and I think he's set up to make it happen again this one. But they do need to make sure that that Ogre is there to help him out, because Bounty Hunter and Tinker could kind of wreck his day otherwise.
Remaining.
Yeah, and Shaman, if he manages to find farm, the potential of Hex can be very irritating. As I said before, Abaddon is not going to be able to purge it off with Aphotic Shield, so if you're able to lead with a Hex, then Tinker and Gyro can all burst down a target very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's something else to consider. I mean, Abba is still going to be able to get his ulti off, right? If he gets Hex, but it just won't purge the Hex animation off. He'll still just get healing from it. That's the way it works, right?
No, because Hex is also silence. So it's like both a mute and a silence.
Okay. So you can burst through the Abba with a Hex.
Well, so it'll auto proc.
Right.
But he can manually force it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, is if it was like it will auto proc still.
Right. Yeah. It's not like a break. You need to break him. So like if you get a Silver Edge Shadow Shaman, then yeah, this Abaddon is definitely toast.
Prepare for
the
battle.
plays, the next level plays.
Oh, it'll happen one day.
T-Show, they had a rough one last time. Hoping that this one goes a little bit better for them. But we'll have to wait and see how this all works out. And Tinker Gaming, always sometimes known to go pretty late. So if you do need to hop out at any point, just let me know and we'll carry on and
will do.
Just cry myself to sleep.
Hopefully it won't go to game 3. I mean, if you're a Show.Rising fan, then hopefully it does go to game 3, but...
Bounty, hopping around here. He's got the both wards on him. They're moving over this direction as well. Shackles, not skilled yet, but it could be. He doesn't spot them now with Envision. Realizing they're over here, they back out. They see the bounty, get the lift, pull back in. Well, Radiant don't find the Abba, but Dire find this kill and are going to give it over to the Storm Spirit.
Oh, man, that was almost greedy.
Yeah.
I guess you could have used the remnants since the Bounty Hunter basically boxed himself in, but that dust timed out and he was almost able to get that second invis off. But yeah, really, more often, very rarely will you see supports get dust at 0 minutes because Sentry Wards are just so much more valuable. And dust isn't like a cheap item by any means. 180 gold, so... You know, maybe you're better off getting a Sentry Ward, but they go for it, get a solid first blood for the Storm Spirit.
Yep. Now, Ogre bought all the other stuff, so he is have to pool tangos to him, or at least one, as well as a branch, living that maximum poverty life.
And now look who's going to be sniping.
Oh, it's happening.
Who?
It's happening. Storm Spirit gets away with the free...
Waiting for his moment. He's going to have to do it on the way back, which is why this ward has been placed. You can see up to here. Yep. The courier crosses the boundary, and now Rubik is getting antsy.
He's going to move over. Does he have the taunt? That's the big question.
One.
Oh! No! You could have waited! He could have waited!
He could have waited.
Alright, well.
I hate to see it happen.
That was less than ideal. Okay. In the meantime, though, Death Note able to do a decent chunk of damage. They're going to pull him back in. Could potentially be a kill here as they're starting to deal the damage. Is it enough? The answer is yes.
Oh. Bounty Hunter feebly trying to do some return damage, but at level 1 he doesn't really do much just with an Orb of Venom. And Tinker ends up going down. Maybe that courier surviving ends up working out in Dire's advantage because Rubik ended up being like, well, I gotta do something. It's now bot lane Shackles into the homing missile rocket barrage.
That's a lot of damage there. Naba, no way to survive through that, even with the Aphotic Shield. So he's still at level 1. Batrider's been able to hit 2. And mid lane, more right clicks there. They get the Sentry Ward down. Both of them get taken a little bit into the favor of the bounty there, because you're probably not going to see another Sentry Ward purchase, I wouldn't imagine. Maybe they do, though. Yeah, they have one. Okay, they're bringing
Radiant's
it down.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Bounty.
Ideally, they can do it, yeah, once Bounty shows himself. Now you go.
Yeah. Trying to go for the rocket, pull him back in, some more damage. I'll leave it off there as the salve comes out, and another Sentry Ward down.
Yeah, Tinker hadn't spent laser yet, and so Stormster was a little bit skeptical about walking back in. But they're protecting the Storm very well. I thought it would have been Ogre down here, but instead Ogre has been spending time pulling the lane and somewhat zoning out Batrider. Batrider's not an easy hero for either of these heroes to deal with, as Tiny and Ogre are both melee. They're both pretty slow, so it's not the easiest support matchup.
Dire's middle
Yeah.
tower
I don't
is
know what
under
the bounty's
attack.
trying to do up here. I guess, like you said, maybe do something to Ogre. This seems like it's not gonna happen though. I mean, he still can pop that Tango if he wants to, or just TP away, and no way to break it.
Yeah, no points in Shuriken quite yet.
Rotation down bottom. They found themselves a Shadow Shaman. He is also going to TP away.
Seeing a distinct lack of stuns so far.
Death Note maybe in trouble again. The bounty coming in. They realize if he breaks that clarity that they're in the area.
So many mid heroes have stopped getting bottled these days because support rotations are so common that more often than not the runes are being taken by your 4s and 5s and whatnot. But Storm Spirit is a hero that benefits too much from the mana regen that you can't really afford not to get it.
Yeah.
The downside is that a lot of times he is going to lose the rune to Bounty Hunter, but at least he can pick up bounty runes on the way, as now rotation from Shadow Shaman.
Jackals left alone on an island has sticks, but no way to make that work. So they do lose Storm. Can they find anything in return? The answer is no.
And that is such a peculiar angle of approach for a Shadow Shaman. That dude was supporting the bot lane, and he ends up coming from the north on the mid lane. I have no idea how much walking that must have taken.
Well, a good deal, definitely. Ogre, not going to get caught here. Shadow Shaman ended up coming to the top lane now again as well, but just going to leave it alone. The rotation
He
doesn't
wants to
amount to
toss
much.
him back. Toss him into Ogre. There
Okay,
you go.
that's a thing.
Dire's bottom
Starting to
tower
bring
is
him
under
low
attack.
in. Going to be able to find that kill. Ooh, a haste rune for Storm also.
Ooh. And Rubik is heading on to the mid lane.
This
Oh,
could be
and
good.
Tinker just walked into the low ground. I'm surprised they're not going for it. I
Now
guess
they-
they need to deal more damage.
Well, I'm thinking about it, but
Yeah, I'm watching with bated breath, but they're holding. I mean, Rubik has 1 point in Fade Bolt, and if he, like, you know, moves into the mid lane ever so briefly, he's probably going to hit level 3 and get 2 points in Fade Bolt.
all right, they're going for it now. But Shadow Shaman's in the area too. Looks like they're going to not get him.
Nope.
Huh. They're testing it. They have Shackles though, and he's out of mana. Does have 7 stick charges still, but the
Still
walk
hasted.
forward, going for the kill, it's not happening.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know why they waited so long. As soon as Tinker went into the low ground, I thought for sure that Rubik was going to go in for it. And yeah, like, it's a lot of damage that you have to burn through, but you have a hasted Storm Spirit, and, like, you're not willing to take that haste under a tower, you're just willing to take that haste as far as the tower damage radius is. And so whenever Tinker's in the low ground, you've got a lot more room to play with. But instead they wait for it, and good rotations coming out from the Radiant. They had no idea that that was even happening, but it worked out to their advantage.
All right, Ogre walks through, has the Sentry Ward down. They see Bounty Hunter. Rubik is there as well, going to try and throw this. Avatos comes out. They kill one, can't get the other though.
Yeah, this is not the Bounty Hunter that we saw in Game 1, that's for sure.
No.
But Rubik is getting toasted up, but Firefly's gonna time out.
Oh.
Meanwhile,
Dire's
Gyrocopter.
bottom tower
And
is
again,
under
Shaman.
attack.
Shaman's doing a lot of work. Another Shackle kill successfully, but that Rider getting kind of low.
Pull him back in. They have Rubik and the Bounty there. Fire Blast even
Dire's bottom tower
used
is
as
under
well to
attack.
find that kill. But yeah, Abba going down again like you were saying. Not what you want to have happen.
Radiant's middle tower is under
He's getting
attack.
experience, though. He's basically the same level as the Batrider, which kind of looks bad because the Batrider's
Radiant
been almost
structures
dual
are
laning with the Bounty
fortified.
Hunter, but at the same
Radiant's
time,
top tower is
Shaman
under attack.
has been rotating around like very, very well, whereas Bounty Hunter's rotations have been kind of comparatively less successful.
Dire's middle tower
Another
is
smoke
under
play
attack.
here with the Bounty and the Shadow Shaman. They're going to run into... Doesn't look like anybody actually. Rubik maybe. They have this vision here in the area. And the movement, the pull back in onto Tinker. They're holding on to this for the moment though, and now seeing the Bounty Hunter there, they realize they need to be careful. Trying to back out. Invisible Man gonna drop.
I'm surprised he ran away from his tower. It's possible that he was just like, if I go in the same direction as my storm, then they may kill both of us, so I'm just gonna go the other way.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Well, you got
But
level
it's not a
6
kill on Storm. Yeah, and Storm does now hit level 6, so he is feeling much safer now. Although you still need to be concerned about Shaman, because the shackles will last longer than you're going to be able to survive and get your ball lightning off, so he's not completely safe yet.
There's a regen rune picked up for Tinker too, so he's going to dominate that lane. And this gank, if they could kill off the gyro, that'd be really, really good. Do they have a TP
He's
on
in
Storm?
pretty deep right now.
I think they got him. Movement. There's the catch. There's going to be the lift back up, and the pull, the avalanche. Got a little bit too greedy. Tiny makes him pay.
Yeah, Tiny shows up for the value, gets the kill as well, and he's making progress towards that blink dagger.
DD going to be picked up for Tinker.
Fortune's change.
There's so many buffs for Tiny this game. You got the Curse of Avernus attack speed buff if you go on the same target, and you've got Bloodlust as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
It'll
attack.
feel like the Tiny of yore almost.
Quite good.
Dire's top tower is
Bounties
under
here.
attack.
They have shackles available with the Tiny. Needs to be careful. That rotation comes in. They're able to find him and trying to run away now. Avatos may be able to find that kill on a Bounty Hunter. Man's up against him. Going to pick up a tree. Now going to die, but he at least gets a couple CS before he falls.
Yeah, Abaddon wasn't really in position. He was deciding to cut off the creep wave. They thought that Radiant was not going to bother defending that tier 1, but they didn't have any vision, they didn't have a scan, and if Abaddon was able to immediately purge off that shackle, then Tiny would have definitely survived, but unfortunately not in the right spot.
Yeah, rough stuff. Tinker, 300 gold away from his bots. We've got Rubik now trying to soak up whatever experience he can in this mid lane. As a lot of heroes down bottom. They're going to try and make another attempt at it. They are
Yeah,
under the
Tiny,
board.
did he just straight up TP back here again, or
I think
did
so.
he never leave? Okay.
Well, Tiny
Well,
died.
I mean, oh yeah, right.
Oh, they're going
Well.
to take out the stack. That's why. Alright, that makes sense. They realize the bounty's there. Don't have any dust, though, to spot him out right now.
Yeah, and they've got a ward on the Radiant Ancients as well, so if they ever start stacking that up, it'll very quickly be found out by the Dire team.
Found the bounty hunter yet again. Almost dead. Is he going down, though? Yes, he will. And it does look like the Tiny is going to pay the price another time.
Yeah, well, that's definitely worth it for the Bounty Hunter.
And again, the Abba not there with them, but
Yeah. I don't really know where Abaddon is. I mean, like, the previous time I knew where he was, but
right.
Tiny is playing like he has an Abaddon behind him, which
Right.
is reasonable, but it's not working out that way.
Well, bounty, level 5. And give Invisible Man a little punch here. As they bring in the Tinker, this is the first instance of the Boots of Travel as the rocket laser will find the kill. And this could be replicated many times, I think.
Well, Ogre's going to be a little bit tankier, Stormspear is going to be able to get out, and Abaddon is, at worst, going to have to spend borrowed time. So with Rubik, he's definitely learned his lesson. He's not going to be farming alone anymore.
Right. Abba?
Rubik has a dust.
Did they scan? Did they really? Drop down a sentry ward. There's a lot of heroes in the area. Gonna take away Ether Shock, and now that is a ton of damage. 260 level 3 plus another 240.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's like half of his mana pool. Oh, we're going in on Shaman. There's all that burst damage.
Looking for the finish. They drop down the
Oh,
wards.
he's
Oh, they
trapped
got
him.
him. Nicely done. Needs to try and get out of there, but there's no way. Over and over again, this Tiny keeps dying, but he's still remaining really high in the network. But now Chase continues here. They do have a Photic Shield, which they can use to purge off the track. They're not doing it yet. I don't know what's happening here. They are going to be able to steal Call Down and try and turn this back around. Borrowed time is going to be popped. They lose Invisible Man, but the Storm Spirit shows up, and that might be enough now to make this turn. A Photic Shield was just used a second ago, so he isn't able to get off that yet. Chase maybe going to continue. Bat Rider has Flaming Lasso already on cooldown, but the TP back in onto the creeps. They need to be careful. Tinker's got a full mana pool. Tiny, he's been able to respawn in the midst of all of this. Gyrocopter able to play his way around it as well. And they just ran out of steam. T-Show is manhandling them.
Yeah, that's about it's not proving to be very effective. He was holding off on the aphotic shield for the track because he was waiting for that lasso, but then the rest of Radiant team was like, okay, I mean, we don't really need to lasso anyone right now, so if you're not going to use aphotic shield to mitigate any damage or purge off this move speed from track, then we're just going to kill your target anyway.
This Tinker is just destroying.
This Tinker's outstorming Storm right now, pretty much.
Jump forward, try to make it work. There's going to be another borrowed trim. The long sniff kills that bad Gyrocopter. Now the chase looks like that Tiny's going to live for the moment, but more missiles are going to go shortly. Can they kill off this Tinker? Death Note taking a lot of damage as well. That stick charge is not really enough to make the most use of it, but they've killed off 2 already. Not a bad way to make that work.
All the other Radiant cooldowns are down for right now, so... The fact that this Tinker is so untouchable, though, like, it's only going to get harder. Like, even Storm Spirit, who, like we mentioned in the drafting phase, is a very traditional counter to the Tinker. Tinker's going to be able to itemize for that. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like an Orchid on Tinker, which isn't really that typical, but his only concern is going to be this Storm Spirit. Like, Tiny isn't even really going to be that big of a deal because he's being given this data from the bounty hunter that he's like, okay, if you find a completely isolated target, then I'll show up. Or if you scout out ahead and find out where Tiny is, then you can probably, you know, Janata or the Shuriken to cancel the Blink Dagger or something. Only thing that Tinker needs to be concerned about is the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. Well, Bounty finds Mr. Death Note yet again. There's a lot of stacks here that Tiny can use to catch back up after a lot of those deaths, but honestly, they're still not actually that far behind. That's the other nice part about it right now if you're Dire team, is that even though that Tiny has died so many times here, Invisible Man looking like he's gonna go down, they still have like a lot of net worth on him.
True, but Bounty Hunter only got track up and running very recently,
Yeah.
and so if they're able to keep this pace up, then like the kill score looks even right now. And even if it stays even, Radiant team are still going to be coming out ahead with the track gold rolling in. And Tinker's a hero who loves track gold because he will almost always show up to it. Nice initiation, no aphotic shield. Oh, sorry, other team.
Yeah,
finish off the Bounty Hunter.
So they blew him up. That's something. That's what they need to do more of, because as it's standing, they're just kind of getting destroyed outside of that. But Bounty does go down again.
Blink Dagger almost up for this Tinker, so gonna get very slippery. And Storm Spirit, meanwhile, is working his way to the Bloodstone, finish off the Kaya first, and still a long ways away, but hopefully his team is able to stay alive without his help, because Death Note needs just to farm right now.
Yeah. And they still haven't been able to get any sort of meaningful damage onto this tower yet, as Tinker just keeps on coming in and clearing it out. Haster in top. Surprised nobody ended up picking this up yet. This Bounty is again scouting. Storm just wants to keep farming towards that Bloodstone eventually. The plus side, if you're a Dire team fan, is that top tower is the only one that's gone down so far.
Rasta still has his wards though, and he hasn't really been, like, very often, like, teams have very different interpretations on how to play Shaman. Like, the way Secret plays Shaman is they will just, like, use wards whenever it's off cooldown. They will use it to find a kill, they will force a tower if necessary, but they, like, play around Shaman's cooldowns. Whereas this team, it seems to be more patient. They're letting Tiny dictate, as now they get a lasso.
Yeah, this is also going to be an Ancient stack taken. Really hard to come and contest this one.
And 5 heroes benefiting from that track gold.
Yeah, it's tough.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Maybe
under
they
attack.
could look for some type of a counterplay, but the Bounty Hunter's scouting out the stack and then taking full advantage of killing it off. Death Note needs to be careful walking into no man's land, and now they've got that onto him. Track as well, and he's going to back out.
Over here now.
Well played.
Smart money.
Stack still goes the way of Radiant, though.
Abba is building another one here. Just started on it. We've got maxed out Bloodlust. Oh my god. Remind me tomorrow, Windows features. I don't want to restart my computer. Lordy, lordy.
The Spectre and the Meltdown exploits. Your processor's in trouble. You're vulnerable right now.
I am so over it. Jesus. They almost got the gyrocopter there. That would have been really nice if they could have hit the avalanche.
They have one more stack to fall down off of, and
Dire's bottom
hopefully
tower
Tiny
is
can
under
farm that
attack.
soon, because Radiant have a
Dire's
ward
structures
that
are
spots out
fortified.
this stack
Yeah.
on the north
Radiant's
side of the
top
Dire
tower
jungle, and
is
so
under attack.
if Gyrocopter ever finds an excuse to go up there, he will take it very
Dire's
quickly.
bottom
It
tower
looks like that's
has
what he's
fallen.
doing right now. Moving over to try and take it, or at
Dire's
least block
middle
it.
tower
He's just blocking
is under
it, yeah.
attack.
My job here is done.
Those wards were
Dire's
dropped, like you said. They're going to be farmed up a little bit, though.
Dire's middle tower
Sanjinyash
is
is going to be the
under
pick for the Tiny.
Radiant's
Death
top
Note still
tower is
farming,
under
and I
attack.
can't help but feel like right now the Radiant should be playing more aggressively, right?
They're trying. I mean, they have these wards that are placed aggressively. It's just that Bounty Hunter isn't really able to find any openings yet.
Radiant's bottom tower
Briefly
is
found
under
Storm
attack.
Spirit, but he zips away. And Tinker, like, he's sitting around farming, but he's waiting for an opportunity that he can
Dire's
like go
middle
find
tower
someone.
is under
Right.
attack. Radiant's bottom
might find
tower
Rubik.
is under attack.
Bad Rider just happens upon him.
He does have Rocket Barrage. No way to do that.
Let's wait for the track to roll in. 4 heroes show up.
All right, well, still wards. Those will probably be farmed. Maybe not.
Tinker will do it. He doesn't care if he loses HP.
And this is
Or
kind of
you can just
interesting.
leave.
It's like the same sort of way that we see Tide played sometimes, where you just stick the Abaddon in the mid lane and dare them to go on you. And he's able to hold that tower.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like it's okay with Tide though, because Tide's the hero that like you get like one item and you're pretty much done.
Right.
Abaddon in this situation, like you see he's going for like a semi-core build. He's going for this Mask of Madness. It's not the same kind of greediness that you can get away with on a Tide, because
I think he's going Vlad's.
oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I thought he had something else in his inventory, but yeah, he's going for Vlad's. But I could have sworn I saw the core stuff. Anyway, regardless, it's okay. So it's not that core oriented, but he still needs farm to be useful.
Right.
Otherwise, he's just kind of like a sponge, and
Yeah.
Tinker doesn't really care about pouring damage into that sponge because
Dire's
Tinker is not
middle
cooldown
tower
dependent
is
at
under
all.
attack.
Big movement here coming through. They need to be careful. They're going to steal away a couple of these ones. That is going to be borrowed time used at the start of this fight. Get back the hell out of here before things go further awry. Abba forced to use another Aphotic Shield. Rough stuff. 4,000 gold lead, and the Gyro able to steal away another last couple creeps from the stack.
Regeneration!
Yeah, Gyro's keeping the pace with the Tinker, which, I mean, like, for the first 20 minutes, that's pretty difficult for a Gyro, but he's stealing all these stacks. He's gone for the Flat Cannon attack talent. He's already managed to hit level 15, so... I mean, we've been talking about this Tinker time and time again, but Gyrocopter is going to be just as difficult for these Dire heroes to deal with.
I think that Storm, though, is almost at the point where they want him to be. They do have a ward on him there, which needs to be a little bit careful about as they move over to the side and want to try and smoke up with the Bloodstone. This could be big.
Spawn Abaddon. Borrow time is up, so they don't want to go too aggressive.
Oh
but
god, this could be great for them. Trying to run away. They're going in on this one though, and now with the wards already dropped, this could look really bad for T-Show if they don't take the fight absolutely perfectly. The no field is set aggressively, able to blow up one right at the start. That's the jump forward, finding more. Death Note though, is he going to be able to live through all of this? It's a lot of damage coming through, and Tinker is off to the side. Can they kill him off in time? Out of mana for the Storm, and he is going to be able to find that secondary kill. Trying to jump to the side and is going to be able to get out of there. Still though, 3 kills, 3 Bloodstone charges.
Dire's bottom tower
And with
is
that,
under
I will
attack.
assume that Mad Kings are going to win the game and that my services are no longer necessary here, as I do have to go right now. But
All right, sounds
best
good.
of luck as you watch the Storm Spirit. Hopefully, I'll tell you how I think that it's going to go. It's
Okay.
Game's going to end at 45 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Storm Spirit will have 22 bloodstone charges. He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose a big portion of them at like 30 minutes or so. But he's gonna get them back, and he's gonna win the game.
All right, I'll let you know how that went.
All right, sounds good.
All right, take it easy, man. All by myself.
Mine! Selfish.
All right, we're back in it. Death Note again, playing things very, very scarily. It looks like Ogre is going to go down again, and this is something we sort of talked about, the danger of having track and killing off those supports. Gotta be careful. They run out of the scan. Bounty maybe going to go for a courier snipe here. It looks like Insei's just going to head off and away. They do have an invisible Storm Spirit. People not really sure where they're at now. Maybe he just completely dodged them. That was very fortuitous.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now Storm now gonna get done with his Invis rune, but sort of ships in the night passing by each other. There's even just the Shaman Glimmer Cape that got him away. But as this game goes on later and later, the Tinker is going to become a bigger problem. Or rather, the Storm is going to become a bigger problem for the Tinker. It might be offset enough by the fact that you do have this track hold coming in constantly. So Ogre, I think, needs to start playing a little bit closer to home. And you just got to play it safe right now if you're Mad Kings. Oh. Bounty heads by. Might have an idea. Again, though, it's the Abba. He's got borrowed time. Up and ready to go. Aphotic Shield comes off for the first round. He's still living through this one. There's going to be the borrowed time. Now lassoed, pulled back in. They're looking for an opening here now. Can they make this work? Tinker is off to the side as well. They catch him. They have the track stolen. That's going to be a dead Tinker. Huge kill right off the start. They didn't even kill off the Abba. He's still living through this one. And even though they've got the shackles, it looks like they're going to be okay. And now finding themselves another kill. Guess what? It's going to be a track kill as well. Huge plays. And now you have track kills going back the other way.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Dive from deep, almost getting him. Whoo! I think Bounty Hunter is having a little pucker moment there. That is scary stuff. 19 Bloodstone charges. Zap. Getting 35 mana per.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What do we have over here? Bounty gonna try and get down some deep wards, maybe in this area, so we can see the courier returning, as well as get set up for attacking this tier 2 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tinker should be trying to just play safe and away from wherever the Storm Spirit is, because this could be dangerous.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I'll have to watch and wait and see. He's not going for it. Instead, he's going over here. They found the bounty. It's just like instantly they go. They know that they can blow him up so quickly, and Death Note now has the mana pool. He's sitting at 20 Bloodstone charges. And it's only a 1,000 gold lead now, after what was a pretty substantial one. Like, this is the thing. You start to get to this group up stage where you can't just blow up one hero, and now they found themselves a Bat Rider as well, going down dead and done. They have a Scotty completed on the Gyrocopter off to the side here as well. The Tinker is there. They're trying to bring him down. It's a ton of damage. Death Note waiting for an opening. Decides to go a different route. And it's also going to be an Invisible Man, stolen Shadow Walk, and just getting the hell out of there. Big wins all around. You do lose the Ogre, but I think you're willing to take that one because it's more Bloodstone charges. And this is going to get to the stage where he can just go wherever he wants.
Are scanning.
Kaya for Tinker after the Dagon up to level 2. And and wanting to invest more into the Dagon after the fact. He needs to blow these Kyrios up. Oh, Invisible Man. Realizing where the Tinker is, but I think he just needs to hide now. No formal mobility for the Rubik. We also have the Gyrocopter going back now for the movement speed talent on top of the Scotty. It's still a problem. Like, Gyrocopter, you're capable of blowing him up, but it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. He's very tanky, has 24 armor, and then also now is moving around at 538 movement speed when phase boots are on. So he can kite. And also does have a DD rune as well. Tinker putting himself in a position to defend this. Tinker needs to always stay ahead of the other team. If he's ever playing reactively and Rubik has been able to, or Ogre has been able to get some wards down. Let's check the Roche. The game is going to get really, really tough, and Storm's just going to be able to jump on him. Like, if Tinker comes into this area here, I think that he's just dead, because you could start to TP in with Storm Spirit and then just get out. Bounty Hunter does see him.
Radiant's
but Storm playing it safe
under attack.
as Abba walks within vision, and they don't want to jump on the Abaddon. It's too scary. Bottom lane, Rubik soaking up experience so that way he doesn't end up getting an abandon. Now they realize that he's in the area. Storm Spirit is here. But good play by the Tinker to not put himself into vision in harm's way. Like, if Storm is on this side of the map at all, I think it's actually really, really scary to walk over there at all. Gyro can do it. Mid lane. A Radiance for Abba is next on the docket, so he can become a core as well. Tiny has a BKB. 10 seconds still. Mid lane. They find themselves the Rubik, and well, he is going to go down now. Over to the side, they also take down the Ogre. So those little ticky-tack kills, not to be underestimated how strong it is. And it also paves the path for Roche to be taken. Gotta be careful about Storm Spirit and his initiation. Now, the question is, does Storm go for this? I think he has an idea that Roche is happening, but they don't have any vision in the area. Jumping in, spots them out, jumps back out again. Now, he doesn't have the mana pool to do that again, I don't think. He can bottle up and try and go a second time, but might be a little bit too scary. Now, this is a good attempt. Tinker, bending to go for the March of the Machines. And Lincoln Sphere is going to be the next pick for Storm, who went for the attack speed talent. The plus side, if you're on T-Show right now, is they have Aegis on Gyrocopter. They're going to have BKB for him too. And then they can start to think about maybe even pushing for these other tier 2 towers, because that's what they need to do.
Dire are scanning.
Because if this Abba is able to get his Radiance unobstructed and like get towards that aphotic shield health, it is feeling really, really bad. And they just can't go on him. Like, he is completely alone. They're going to try and do a little something, but you look at this, and now the Tiny moving in, Avalanche, toss, caught, killed, and gone. Now the jump in from the Storm Spirit as well. Want to be a part of that. Track kills. Maybe has used up too much of his mana pool right now. And as they're stealing the Serpent Ward, they're just going to try and get the heck out of dodge. The rest of the team is coming over to help him out, as it looks like the Ogre is able to escape. And Rubik backs out also. Blow up the Bat Rider, steal wards, get out.
Illusion.
Now, where are you going next? They did get the D ward on the Tinker ward. I think that they might have an idea that he's over here. Bounty. Maybe worth investing in a gem soon? It's a possibility. The Invisible Man is going to try and play Shadow Shaman for a little while and maybe get the wards down to that tier 2 tower here. They caught a quick glimpse there of the storm.
Whoa, what'd I miss?
Jumps mid, clears that out. Top lane. Abba gets the Radiance delivered to him. He's
Radiant's
going to
middle
run
tower
into the
is under
entire
attack.
enemy team, I think. Or he's just going to be over here farming the medium camps. Very awkward situation to be in. As Abba is farming this all out, they're moving into the mid lane. So if T-Show keep on going this direction, there's a chance that they get something, but they found themselves a bounty hunter. Silence is out, needs to be careful about overcommitting to this, but the jump forward, trying to get out of it, they don't catch him. He's out of mana, but they're not able to fully chase for it. And now Abba going for the cutoff, the bloodlust as well, but realizing it might be a bit too far to dive. They just are going to content themselves with picking off the bounty hunter. It was so close to the lasso, and Storm was basically out of mana, but it doesn't work. Well, wards are here in the mid lane. Maybe overkill there. But they still get it off nonetheless. And could be worth saving him for the next round. Death Note, Kaya, Orchid, 22 Bloodstone charges. This is around the time when Tsunami was saying that he was going to lose them. We'll see if he dies again, though. I have a feeling he might not. Top lane, dive forward, trying to find one kill, able to get that Rubik to blow him up.
Next time, try a program.
Scary part is that the Radiance Burn is starting to come in. Firefly going to wear off before he can get across. That should be a kill. Jump forward, find themselves the pick off. Meanwhile, over here to the side, Storm Spirit blowing up the gyrocopter. This is with the Aegis. Now trying to jump away. Just pops Sinbiz Rune, is able to escape. Up here top as well, they found themselves the Shadow Shaman. Avatos jump in, find the kill again. And they're all getting out. They are just manhandling T-Show. The past, what's this been basically? 10 minutes. It's just been all Mad Kings. Now you're going to have a Blink Dagger done for Abaddon as well. This allows him to play even more defensively if he needs to, and then jump forward to Photic Shield somebody. Or the other route is that, let's say that they're going on you and you pop your borrowed time, you can blink out after you're not taking any damage because you're healing up from it. Hard to deal with. And you see, they just have to play so scared right now. Like, Gyrocopter throws out a call down and then has to run away. AC is going to be done for the Tiny. Ogre match, I just broke as a joke, but still fine for the moment. And they got the Blink Dagger done. BKB on the way next for Abba. We're going to have a Shiva's Guard done for the Storm Spirit, so we can really start going for those deep dives and kills onto the pesky Tinker, who is almost at a sheep stick. That could be a game changer. Although you have a Linken's already on Storm, so even with the Hex, it's not easy. And they also have an Aphotic Shield, which isn't going to dispel the Hex, but at least makes them a little bit tankier.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane being pushed in by the Tiny. Who's hitting quite hard. They want to get an Aegis on the Storm Spirit. Roche possible to respawn in a minute and a half. As top lane, Abba's going to continue just to kill off all these creeps that
Dire's
coming in.
top tower is under attack.
And if Storm catches sight of any of these heroes, he's going to jump. Abba. Now they're dodging. See Batrider. And can't quite get him. Oh my god. That's terrifying. Bloodlusted Tiny. He's big, he's bad, he's getting out of control.
Radiant's
This
middle
game has
tower
thoroughly
is under
fallen
attack.
out of T-Show's control. Like, they're just slowly being herded back to their base, and the towers are falling. They really feel like they've just lost all agency here. And if Tinker does end up buying that Hex out, he's not going to have buyback. One death at that point just means it's over.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Storm is still yet to die. As the tower is falling, and last hopes for T-Show here. They got to pull something together. Because as it stands right now, they're going to lose the game if this keeps up. Roche
Dire's
going to
bottom tower
respawn
is
in
under
45
attack.
seconds, so pretty short respawn time there for him.
Here I am.
Shiva's guard picked up in a second, I think. I have to backpack the Kaya for the moment, at least until he can hand that gem over to somebody else, and he gets a regen rune.
Generation.
Because why not? He just got a Shiva's guard. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see if he jumps from here. If he's thinking about it, he wants to go. Storm Spirit, does he jump? Nah, his regen's done. Butterfly completed for the gyrocopter. There's ways that this is starting to look a little bit better. Like the 3 homing missile charges. Maybe you can try and control and kill off the other heroes. Having so much flat cannon, a ton of damage. And he is very survivable too. My worry in this game is that you're going to end up losing Bounty and Shadow Shaman just right at the start. Then you don't have any defensive abilities, and then you can just take these ones apart as the game goes on. Roche is up. If there is a last hurrah, it has to happen right now, but the jump through is immediately going on to everybody. Creates a bunch of remnants. Hijack is there. Storm Spirit going to be regenning up again shortly, but see how much damage that was on the Shaman. It's terrifying.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tiny starting to take down Roshan. They have Sticky Napalm stolen. Blink, Force, Lasso, every dang thing. Storm Spirit ready to jump in from the other side of the lane. The jump forward comes. It's going to be there. Osiva's onto everybody. The secondary jump. They steal the wards away as well. Borrow time is there. Tinker trying to run away. He got the Hex onto Death Note. But that might have to be about the extent of it, as the jumping is continuing, but Shaman's gone. And Rubik holds on to wards. And now they have an Aegis spot open for Storm. He can go without his boots.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
Picks up the Aegis there.
Immortality is mine.
So Storm Spirit Aegis, they've got Blink BKB on Abaddon. If there was a better time, the only thing they could possibly be waiting for more would be, as Death Note is just running circles around him, possibly the BKB on Tiny, but even that isn't that much to worry about because they still have so much status resistance on him and everything else. Wards were dropped there. They jump forward, trying to deal more damage as well with all the remnants moving around. They're taking all that damage. Aragas eats the cheese, gets Hex, gonna walk away. Status resistance means he doesn't take absolutely anything at all. Jump forward yet again. The BKB is popped, and now they're trying to take down these barracks. Tree toss onto that Shaman, forcing him back again. Melee barracks goes down, and the slow, steady death is continuing for T-Show as they lose the mid-racks. And they just jump in. Death Note doesn't care. He can be out of mana all he wants. The Shackles is going to be on Tiny, which means that it's not as long as they would want it to be. A lot of damage coming out from this Gyrocopter, but it's not nearly enough. The chase is continuing. The movement over here for the Tinker. He goes down, even though he was able to Hex one. Buys back, needing to get out of there. A stun. No mana for an Aphotic Shield, but Death Note's out and hangs onto the Aegis. 14,000 net worth lead, and a buyback from Tinker secures nothing. And he gets a regen rune. What in the heck? That is absurd. Still 3 minutes left on the Aegis too.
Here I am.
Oh my god. Devastating.
Wooden pop.
An Arcane Rune is down there also. They want to use it. But 45 minutes was the time that Tsunami said for this game to be over, and it's looking like that could be the case. Went for the ball lightning auto ball distance that we talked about. We've got for the Abaddon Aphotic Shield health. And like we saw before, the Gyrocopter went for the homing missile charges. Get ready.
What?
Played.
Zap.
Storm is having a good game.
Looking for me?
The only downside is that he does suffer from some movement speed issues.
Zap.
Just running around, picking up arcane runes. He's having a whale of a time. Waiting until the last possible minute, and then maybe gonna run mid with it because there's a lot of heroes there. Hacks onto one. Arcane rune picked up, jump in, trying to take him down. Is gonna get shackled. The Aegis is still there, but he's able to jump away. Aphotic Shield to turn it, starting to bring them low. Are gonna be able to find that one kill, and now you're tracked up on Death Note, but he's still running away and able to find a secondary kill. That is 3 dead, and guess what? Storm, he's had enough. He is standing in their fountain. The taunts, the most destructive taunts that I've ever seen, and GG is called. Death Note the Savage. That's just the Aegis. He doesn't even go down. Are you kidding me? What in the hell? He knew it was over. All right, ladies and gents, that's going to do it. Game number 2, a 2-0 win for Mad Kings over T-Show, and that means that they're going to move on to face Infamous in the lower bracket finals. After that series, the winner of it is going to move on to face SG. Out of the two, Mad Kings was definitely the stronger team that they had to play against, but I'm still not sure if it's quite going to be enough. It's been fun so far, though, casting the South American Dota. I wanted to thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for some of the technical delays that we had. There's a couple new things that we're trying out in the production to get the video quality and everything else looking better for all you fine folks out there. And because of that, it's made it a little bit tough from time to time. But it doesn't matter because we're just continuing to do stuff. This is a rematch of the other lower bracket, just the semifinals that happened earlier where Infamous were able to 2-0 Mad Kings. And it was one of the more demonstrative victories that we saw. So tomorrow might be a little bit rough depending upon how it goes, but it's a best of 3 followed by a best of 5 no matter what else happens. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. Again, at Lyrical Dota, you can follow my co-caster who's here for a while at Tsunami643 at Beyond the Summit, and then at GESC Championship. Again, I'm just loving to get back into casting, man. It's a new year. 2018 is already looking amazing. Captain's Draft finished great, and we have GESC Jakarta coming up just a stone's throw away. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the wide, wonderful world of Dota 2, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.